What, dudes? How's it going? I've just watched two films back to back, and these were two films that I read about when I go searching for stuff, Lovecraftian, and it's two films that I should really have known about because it's from the people that made The Endless. If anyone's seen my review of The Endless, you probably haven't, but there you go. These the Moorhead and Benson, two directors that made that. There's a film, and it's the first one. It's really weird. It's called Resolution. And as I'm watching it, I'm sitting there going, "This is sort of familiar. This is very familiar." And the reason for that is that it's almost a prequel to The Endless. I mean, it's very loosely a prequel because it's set in one of the most of it's set in one of the buildings in a house that's if anyone's heard my review about it or seen the film, it's the house where the druggy dude, where his mates like tied him up, chained him to the radiator or whatever to get him off drugs. It's them two characters. Now I don't think it's the same actors, but it's the same characters, and it's weird as hell. I was sitting there thinking, hold on a minute, you know what I mean? This is so familiar. And also, yeah, in The Endless, there's a scene where they watch a video. The two brothers watch a videotape of them years ago when they were in the cult. Now there's a bit in this film where what was his name? I can't remember his bloody name now. But anyway, the character walks past this lake area. I think it's a lake, and there's these cult members sitting there, and it's the two brothers. It's the two brothers. It's the two directors that play brothers in the film. It's well sort of. I mean, it was how many years ago was it? It's about 6 years ago, I think, 2012. I think it was their first film. It's very low budget, but yeah, it's a flipping prequel to that. Now my thoughts on it are, I wasn't that impressed with it. You know, I was hoping to be. So when I realised it, when it was all coming together in my mind, thinking this is a flipping prequel to The Endless, I got my hopes up, and it didn't really come through. I've read a couple of reviews of it where people were saying that, you know, the tension and the atmosphere are ramped up all the way through, and I didn't get it. I didn't feel that about it at all. It didn't get me creeped out. It didn't get me on the edge of my seat. I didn't get that feeling of dread that I'm always looking for. I didn't get it, so I left that pretty disappointed. I'm sorry to say, but I did. I'm not going to go through the story because passion ain't there. Passion ain't there to be talking about it. But check it out if you want. It's a film called Resolution, 2012, Moorhead and Benson. I think I'm speaking a bit fast there, aren't I? Moorhead and Benson. Shall I say that again? So, yeah, that was my thoughts on that. The second film I watched was another one of Moorhead and Benson's. Benson and Moorhead's. It was their 2014, I think it was 2014 film, called Spring. Now this one, I was a bit more taken with this one. It had me hooked, actually. It did have me hooked. The only thing I'll say about it is the longer it went on, and once the revelations sort of came out, of the mystery of it, I was a bit disappointed. Now that probably isn't the film's fault. That's just my warped sense of horror. You know, what I want out of a film, what I always want it to be, the reasoning behind it, and it's not the film's fault, because I think the film was really good. It was really good. And I think it was they described it as a horror romance horror. And it's pretty apt. the story goes. So if you don't want to know how the story goes, I won't give you a massive detail because, I say, the passion I lost it at the end. But the basic outline of the story is there's this lad who's had a bit of trauma in his life, and his mum dies, and he's not having a great time, and he travels to Italy, and when he's there, he meets a couple of fellas he tags along with, two English dudes, and they go to this town by the sea. It's pretty cool actually. It's like this town that's built on this little cove, but the cove is completely enclosed by like really high cliffs. Pardon me, I can't stop burping. And on the cliffs are like all the buildings and the houses and that. And they stay in this town, and they find a room to lodge in and that. And he meets this bird, this woman, girl, whatever. And he's almost like, what's the word when he's just like, I think he's in love at first sight. He sees her and he asks her out, and she kind of turns him down, and he can't stop thinking about her. And his mates say to him one day, like they're leaving, they're going to go head down the coast for her, and he's like, I'm staying. So they sort of say goodbye, and they leave, and he sees this girl again, and I think it's around about this time where so no, hold on, what happens then? I've just bloody seen it, I can't flipping remember. Anyway, they're getting together, and there's one night they stay together, and I think she's laying in bed. No, hold on. Yeah, she's laying in bed, and you see something happen to her hand, and she's like, oh shit, I was shocked and that. I mean, has to disappear quickly into the bathroom, and she injects herself with something. So it's all intriguing, you think, what's going on? Her hand's like all scaly and slimy and shit like that. And then it happens again on another night. They're what's the next bit? Anyway, this keeps happening when they're out together, and suddenly there's something like strange going on, and she has to just dart out of the way. And also there's killings going on in the town. There's like dead goats and cats and just things being found places, and it sort of creates a good sort of sense of dread, because you are thinking, what is going on here? I know at the moment we've just got this girl who clearly something's up with her, but I'm sitting there thinking, what's the deeper meaning behind this? There's something bigger going on, you know what I mean? There's something more to it than just this girl who keeps having these weird transformations. But anyway, so the relationship progresses, blah blah blah, and it is good. It is good. It's a good film, but the killer for me at the end, not at the end, but well, anyway, this girl is having a transformation, and she's in full blown transformation. There's tentacles. She turns into some sort of fish monster thing. You know what I mean? Just, it's pretty good. The effects are pretty good for. Moorhead and Benson have always got small budgets, and they do a good job. They always do good in the effects department. Well, I'm saying it like some sort of expert. I'm not. I've only seen 3 of their films, but yeah. So anyway, he walks in and he sees this, and I'm sitting there thinking, you'd run. You'd be like seeing this thing on the floor with slime everywhere and tentacles and just this monster. But the lad, he just stays, and he grabs he's aware that she's injecting herself with something, but she's fobbed him off with this story of, she's just got this condition, which is fair enough, because she ain't really lied, but so he knows about these injections. So he grabs it, injects her, and she gradually turns back. And this basically is the reveal, the full reveal, and this is it. She's some sort of sea creature thing, you know what I mean? And there's some story behind it. She's lived she's like 1,000 years old or something, and there's a painting in the town. It's like an ancient painting. I think it's in one of the museums, and the painting is of her. And so it's good. It's a good film. It is good, but I was, again, I don't know if I get repetitive or I'm, you know, I'm only after one thing, but I wanted there to be some grander scheme to it, some, you know, just dread-inducing thing behind this, some deeper meaning to it, you know, like, I don't know. I don't even know what. I'm not even gonna. It's quite late at night here when I'm recording this. Like my brain ain't working properly, but you know, you get the idea. It's always some other dimensional shit with me, isn't it? So I guess that's what I wanted, or whatever. But yeah, no, it's a good film, and I think you just have to be satisfied with what the film was. So I would recommend it because it did have me. It had me hooked from the start. So yeah, I recommend it. There's some, you know, there is some good elements to it, and the, you know, the build up. I just wish there'd been a little bit more to it than just she turns into a fish monster. The guy's happy to stay with her, and they, you know, ride off into the sunset, as you will. Anyway, yeah, I've not much more to say. It's pretty good. Go and watch it if you want. I don't know where you'll find it. Might be on YouTube, who knows. I'll have a look in a bit. Anyway, yeah, thanks for listening. Probably bored the crap out of you, like I always do, but I can't help it. I'm a boring fella. Anyway, thanks for listening. See you in the next video. Or not. Cheerio for now.